30 years, the North American Roller Hockey Championships have been providing the premier roller hockey tournaments in the sport. Thousands of teams from all over the world have competed in hundreds of events over the last 3 decades. The NARCh podcast showcases the great players, coaches, manufacturers, and rink owners that make the North American Roller Hockey Championships what it is today. We hope you enjoy the podcast and look forward to seeing you at a NARCh tournament very soon. And now to our host and the president of the North American Roller Hockey Championships, Daryn Goodwin.
All right, Daryn Goodwin here, doing something a little bit different. We decided last minute to do a podcast in the middle of the NARCh Finals, bring you up to speed with what's happened so far, at least a little bit, and grab a few people around the rink. And one of the guys I've been wanting to do a podcast with anyway is none other than Dave Hammond. How you doing, Dave?
Good. A little tired. It's been a long few days here, and you go from 6 a.m. to almost midnight. But some amazing hockey, and you and me were just talking about the 24 finals, and we go back in the history books to think no way we were that good. It's amazing the speed these kids can play these days, and it was a pleasure to watch and coach them, and it's just amazing to see where the talent has come, and it's all happening here. Yeah,
well, that D1 game he's referring to is right behind us, and Roadrunners took care of business. They just beat Black Ice, just went final, 8-4. Good game until the end. Then they busted it open. But you talk about history. I do a lot of these podcasts, and what haven't done that many yet, but part of what I like to do is bring up the past. And I have memories of you from so long ago, the Tustin rink that was not that far from here. And you played under Jim Thompson, CPH, your dad, Russ, right? Yeah. What were you, like 13, 14 then?
I must have been probably 12, 13 because I was a Bulldog in my early careers, and my dad moved me to them because of ice. And then at 16, I left home, and I think we were talking about it's been 20 years since I've been back to a summer finals. So I got back 2 years ago for Winter Nats, but I have not been back to a NARCh, a state, anything. And so I think it's been 20 years my reunion. I'm back here now.
I didn't realize that.
And I got to play this, paid last week with 30s and silvers, and now we're coaching 23 teams, and it's a blast. It's 2 weeks of hockey.
Well, let's connect the dots a little bit. So you played way back then, and then I remember you with Devin with the York Triumph, early 2000s. You guys had good teams back then. You were kind of a leader on the team.
Yeah, and then we linked up with some of the Michigan boys, MPH. Canada, it's hard to get players. And then Shazur and myself linked up with the Cold Shots. And then that's when, we started winning D1 and, starting to have an influence. And then, as you get your 18, 19, 20s, then I got picked up a couple of pro teams, fortunate enough to play with Yoder and, get my first pro championship there. And then, as a young kid, you get offered the sponsorships and you don't know anything. So, you take what you give you, and this one's given more, and you kind of jump ship a little bit in your young career. I think it's just something that all players go through, and you're so excited to get free stuff and a little bit of money that sometimes loyalty goes out the window. Now you've learned in the experience of the years where now you kind of stay with the club.
Well, what's funny, you mentioned that, and we were talking a little bit, too, about a lot of the young guys who were jumping into pro and how fast the game is now. When you were a young guy, I'm sure you have to remember this, we were throwing together, we're like, let's throw together a group of young guys who are ready for pro, but they don't really have teams. And you guys wore the Rocket Puck jerseys. You played with Joaquin Chavera. You played with a couple other guys.
I had Sigmund.
Yeah.
That was our first term in Florida.
Yeah.
And I got top score in pro. I think it was 7 points or something. It was like something so low that I couldn't believe it. And then because you get this award, now all these bigger clubs are like, hey, who's this kid?
Yeah.
And then now you get your shot at the big clubs. And then once, you get a shot at a big club, it just opens opportunities. And then, there it goes. But in theory, you gave me my first ever shot at pro. Yeah. And now we're full circle.
Well, let's, I just want to at least talk about the past a little bit. Let's bring it to here. You're involved in the sport in so many different ways. You've got Africa Cup coming up in, less than a month?
Yeah, it's August 14th to 18th, so my phone's been ringing off the hook trying to, get the last-minute refs and the players and get that all dialed in. But that's, we're going into our 6th year, and it's, we're really kind of just big on sport tourism. We're so far away from the rest of the world. The Namibians are great. You've seen the girl talent around the world and a couple of the boys, but you really have to offer the Europeans and the Americans some holiday. Otherwise, how are you going to get them to go there for a flight that's almost 3,000? So,
well, I know Travis went last year. I know,
Mooney's
Charles
been a couple
Baldwin
times. Chucky
goes all the time. So it looks amazing. Like some of the stuff they talk about, some of the stuff they do. Like I've thought about it too. I don't know if I can swing it this year after this and before we end up going to Italy.
Worlds, yeah.
But and we were just in Spain together. You're a big part of that too. Like you're a part of pretty much everything.
Everything. Well, I'll be at Worlds too. I'm on the board of World Skate. So I've really kind of just thought of, inline hockey kept me out of trouble. I had never really gotten in trouble with playing my sport I love. So now it's full circle. Now we're finding a way to, make a little living off of it. So, if I could do this the rest of my life and quit my 9-to-5ers, why not? I mean, this is
come
work,
on, you did that a long time ago. You did that a long time ago.
This is fun stuff. So yeah, we are finding ways to do stuff with our own. It all started from our free clinics, and now we've got tournaments, and now we're volunteering here and coaching. And now to think that we're coaching so many teams, we're going to debut our first ever pro team. And, the big talk was like, am I going to play? And I said, my issue was when I was young, I wanted the old guys off the team for the new generation. So I can't be a hypocrite. So we'll be behind the bench, and you must give these young bucks a chance. They don't have names yet, but this is where it's all going to start. And I hope we're a part of that.
You got a couple veterans. You got a couple.
We do. We have brought in Chucky Slick. We brought in, who else? We got Joaquim Shavir's there. We brought the men's Swiss national captain, a couple Canadians, Hartwell. And you want that balance, maybe 5 or 6 vets, and then the young bucks. But if you don't give them opportunities, where are they going to get,
Well, a lot of this division, this pro division, I was talking about a little bit earlier, there's 14 teams. So there's quite a few young players that are now playing in the division. And, we're seeing a lot of them and play juniors, play D1.
Absolutely.
And I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. I think pro division is going to look completely different in 5 years. I think there's so many good young players that, we've seen it with some of the guys that still really take care of themselves, like Ethan and Travis and Junior. They love the sport so much.
But they're also exceptions. You're mentioning guys that are your top 10 Hall of Fame of all time guys. They are exceptions. I mean, Ethan's, now living on the rink. He's getting, I think, better. He's like a fine thing of wine.
Yeah.
But,
Benjamin Button, a roller hockey.
Right? You do look at the guys that are in shape, and it's just gone to this speed game. Back in the old days, it was all about the feistiness, the big guys, the slashing, the hooking. I mean, they still do it, but it's speed.
Hey.
Yeah, look at you. But it's gotten so fast. There's no more 1-0 games holding back. I mean, you look at this D1. It's nonstop action. I mean, they're scoring 3 goals in less than a minute. And at any point, it doesn't matter if it's 4-1, 5-2, you're never out of the game because I think it's just the raw talent. It's incredible to watch.
Well, let's switch gears real quick. Tell me about PGKA. I know you and Pablo Navarro, you guys are traveling the world, doing camps and clinics. You've got, how many teams do you have here? 12, just with the PGKA, you had
over 20, I think. Yeah, it's I think I registered almost 23 teams.
I don't think I got that many registration fees from you, so we may need to talk about this. But
no, there's a few. We've got 3 and 16s and 2 in this, 2 in that, and then the pro teams and everything. But it all started. It's year 5 for us. It all started with our free camps around the world, just kind of our way with PAMA to give back to the world and share the sport. So usually we go to places that hockey doesn't exist. Ecuador, El Salvador, and just to mention the sport, and then you see. And now we've realized that, hey, there's a couple hidden gems here, some decent talent. And we're not going to come over and play platinum, but we'll come over and play silver. Okay. So we basically just opened it up. We had, I think, 14 different nationalities in our program this year.
That's great.
And they come from everywhere because how it is, how hard it is to get an entire French team, an entire Namibian team, because no one has all the money to come. And you get 1 or 2 families that have it, but then they can't go unless there's a whole team. So we kind of found maybe a loophole in the system. And now we're just pulling guys in from all over. We do 1 practice, and you try to pull them together. So we're always behind the 8 ball because we don't know each other, and it's almost by game 3 or 4 we start figuring out who's forward and D.
Yeah.
But it's really just about creating a good experience.
Yeah.
And then we'll have these players back year after year, and I think then you'll start seeing the PGA teams really start developing and maybe hitting the podium even harder. We have had some luck early on in the older divisions, but that's because we're picking up some older guys. But in the young ones, it's more difficult. We're just happy to make the playoffs and semis. The language on the bench, half the time it's Spanish, half the time it's Swiss, a little bit of English. So it makes it quite interesting, but it's all about, creating opportunities for children and just getting them playing sport. And that's what we're about.
Well, and I think you're onto something in 2 ways. Number one, for them to be able to come together, meet new friends. Now they've got friends in the sport they love from all over the world. But then they go back to wherever they're from, and usually you're probably picking up the better kids from where they're from. They talk about the experience. It trickles down. More kids want to do it, and you're really kind of growing the sport.
Yeah, and it's that, the ice hockey mentality of the farm team. So PGK has kind of become the farm team to our PAMA teams. We only really had the pro teams for PAMA, and now we're entering we got 24, 21, 18, 16. So now you're bringing the youth guys because we know our top boys are getting older, having families, and we need to, if you see what the Roadrunners and Black Ice have done, they've built that new generation. And that's what we're kind of doing now, and that's what we're even talking about next year when I have to go with Palma with 10s and 12s, just because the guys are starting so young and they're getting so good. And once they get locked up on a team, people are loyal these days. It's not like the old days where you can entice them with a free stick or wheels.
I'll tell you what, we can look behind us and I can tell you you're wrong
jumpers
there and you're wrong there and you're right there, because
so there's an opportunity for us.
People are people, but and the grass is always greener. But for what you're doing, it's great. I appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you got a bunch of teams still alive. A lot of success. You guys were over there with about 4 cups the other night in the beer garden. I know your 50s guys were stoked to win that one, which was cool. It was the first ever 50 and over division, and even the 30 and over women's, like 2 brand new divisions. Everybody had a blast in both of those. I already got people asking, could we please do this at Winter Nationals? So I'm glad I added those, and glad to see a lot of smiles on some guys' faces.
It's got to start somewhere. I mean, if you think of we had with our 50s, we didn't know if we'd have a team, and now you had guys, from all over the world. We had Team USA guys with Canada guys. They went to war 2 weeks ago. Here now they're buddies, and it builds that relationship. And you're playing at 50. Of course, it's competitive and everyone wants to win. But at the end of the day, it's about the sport and you getting a sweat and then having your beer. And it was a blast to coach. It's so fun for me now to coach people that used to coach me.
Yeah.
That full circle we talked last year at 40s when I had all these guys that used to bench me and do stuff. It's now role reversal. Now I'm in charge. So it's quite a unique experience. I'm excited for next year to turn 40, which most people aren't, because now I get to be back on the top of the pool.
Yeah.
Because 30s was tough, And
well, you got high score though.
But it's tough. I'm playing with Eton and Junior, which helps. Now I can go to 40s and I can be the
down there.
I can be on the other side of the fence where it's different because it's.
But you still bury. You do still bury. We got a couple highlights of you.
But it's just fun. You can keep going. Like we said at Worlds, you're there now playing. We're playing. You think when the sport's just going to end for you, there's not. There's a whole other chapter that opens up, and you go into a new phase of your life. And it's amazing that I can continue to keep playing until, another 20 years without even worrying about it. And then you can keep coaching. I mean, we've got, from 6 and under all the way up. It's become a family event. We're now seeing some of our pro players bringing their kids and playing. So the cycle has begun. And I can't wait to bring my kids in a couple of years and get my girls on skates. And then now you can really be a part of the family orientation of inline hockey.
100%. Well, we wish you the best luck rest of the event, and appreciate you being here. Hopefully your program continues to grow. Hopefully you keep spreading the love for the sport around the world. And, Pablo, you speak better English than Pablo, and you got a history, so I figured I'd get you instead of him.
No, and we're committed.
Pablo works his ass off. So
and we've committed. So we're winners and summer NARChes. Those are our 2 events that I've committed to being back. So you've got us locked up, probably for life, I'd say. We've told all the kids 100% we're doing NARCh summer and winter. So we'll be bringing the teams, and the goal is to bring as many teams as we can, all ages, and give everyone an opportunity. So we'll definitely be back.
And you have so many. I know you even have Eddie Rojas helping out as well. So, and shout out to Eddie. He's a good dude. He's part of World Skate as well.
Absolutely.
So.
These guys want to play. No one will pick them up. Well, of course, we have a spot. Now here goes and wins.
Yeah.
I joked about getting on the 40 team, and they win. Don't know if I'm going to have a spot next year, So that's the whole joke. The guys have become this little family. But no, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to work here. I'm sure you got a busy night ahead of you as well.
It's all good. I'm just going to actually, stick around. I'm going to continue to grab some people. I want to show people what the vibe is here. It's been a great event so far. I know we're going to finish strong with pros coming in. So we're still building here at the NARCh Finals. We'll be right back. All right, so I just walked away for a second, and I saw this guy cruising around, Trevor Connelly. First off, congratulations on getting drafted.
Thank you. I appreciate
Vegas,
it.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you're super excited. First off, where you went in the draft, were you expecting to go that high, or kind of, you were projected to go pretty high, though, huh?
Yeah, I think kind of during the year it was kind of a whole process. You see rankings and stuff, but you kind of just try and work to get as highest as you can. So I think I just kind of went into the draft with an open mind, and I was going to be happy wherever I went. I think it's such an honor, and it was my dream my whole life to kind of get drafted in the NHL. So I think I was happy wherever I went.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've been fortunate enough to see you play on this rink a lot. When you came on my radar, it was probably maybe for first year 14s. You're just kind of dominating out here playing for the Ducks. And so we've been lucky to get a lot of footage, see you a lot, through the last 4 or 5 years. I know you played for the Rockets last year, and we mic'd Jeff. That was kind of fun to watch. So what are you doing here? Just hanging out with the boys?
Yeah, my little brother, he plays, he's playing 12U Platinum. He's like my little best friend, so I just came out to support him. I'm off the ice for a little, so I was supposed to play, but just got to be careful with my knee for the season. So I wish I could play this summer, and I'll definitely be back next summer for some tournaments for sure.
Somebody had told me it's you're growing too fast
Yeah,
or something, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
is it a pain thing, or is it you could injure yourself really bad if you?
Yeah, I think it's more of like just pain, like so like I'm growing and like kind of like my growth plates are still open, so it causes more stress on the knee. So it's kind of more just being cautious for the season, like staying off contact. Like I can skate just no contact, and kind of stopping hard is kind of hurting it. So just kind of doing more like just gliding around, soft shooting and stuff until the season starts. But it shouldn't be long term. Just kind of being more cautious than not.
Yeah, very. I feel stupid. What's that called again?
Osgood Slaughters. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I should know that. I just probably can't pronounce it, so I would rather you do it. I know nowadays they don't really rush guys into the NHL like they used to. You know, it's part of a process. They want to bring you up the proper way. Where do you think you'll land next year in terms of play?
I think I'm planning right now to go to Providence College. I've been committed there for the past 2 years, so I think their coaching staff and kind of the resources and different tools they have there for me is going to kind of take me like a year or two and then kind of take the next step. So I'm planning on going to college for the next year or two and then kind of hoping to make that next step to the pro hockey.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you got a lot of people rooting for you. You know, you're a great young man. Again, I've had the privilege of watching you quite a bit, so we're rooting for you and following your career, and make all of roller hockey proud, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Roller hockey it's one of my favorites, so it's a great summertime thing, and I love it. It's super fun to play, kind of get away.
And it doesn't hurt you, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, no icing, no offsides. It's more relaxed and stuff, so it's super fun to play.
Okay, buddy. Well, enjoy your summer.
Thank you. You as well.
And good luck to your brother.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I seem to be on a roll because everybody's here right now. I just grabbed Pasha. Pasha just played a couple games ago. Pasha Bocharov is that's close enough, right?
Yeah, close enough. Bocharov, yeah, not bad.
I've known Pasha for many, many years, but he just got off the rink. San Diego Rockets. He's played for the Rockets since he was 6U, basically.
Yeah.
And they just defeated Black Ice 3-2 in a really good junior game, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it was really good. It was fun.
That could be a precursor to the championships, depending on how your paths go. I know you guys are very offensive-minded, so we'll see how you lock down the D.
A little bit of running gun ice style of play from the Rockets for sure.
So Pasha, I know you're playing pro here as well. You're playing with the Wheelers, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
With a couple other San Diego guys, right?
Yeah. They actually were the ones to bring me in. Cody Sherman specifically. He's a San Diego guy. He's played roller for a really long time, and he decided that they would be willing to give me an opportunity to play for them, and I said I'd take it, and I've played with them for the last couple tournaments here and last year as well. So, yeah, I'm excited for the next division for pro and a little bit of
they'd be dumb not to take you. So a little bit of history. Pasha's an 04. My son Ryland's an 04. They're good friends. I'll probably see Pasha over at my house or at my sushi spot.
That's right.
We've known each other for a long time. I had the privilege of coaching Pasha on the ice for San Diego Gulls when he was younger, and along with Sean Burkle. Shout out to Coach Sean. He's still plugging away. So the last couple of years you've been in the Western Hockey League. I know. Tell me where you started, where you're at now, and what you're expecting for next year.
Yeah, so I started out in Saskatoon, and I ended my last season this past year in Calgary with Calgary Hitmen, and it was actually a team. It was tough. We were a really young team, and we ended up being able to play meaningful hockey towards the end of the stretch, and we were 2 points shy of a playoff spot, so that didn't go the way it was expected. But the plan's always to go into camp. Like, I'm a 20-year-old hockey player now. I've played in the Western League for 4 years, so this would be going into my 5th year. I played a lot of hockey, and every year I see the 20-year-olds come in, and it's a battle every time. So I'm expecting to be going in and have to go through that same battle. There's always going to be somebody looking to take your spot and wants a chance at that opportunity, and I think that for me personally, I'll be ready for it.
Well, you've got some hockey in your blood. Your father, Grisha, I played men's league with him for years and years and years. He played with the USSR development team when he was young, correct?
Yep.
So I guess where I'm going with this, you grew up in San Diego. Pretty posh in San Diego. Weather's pretty
it's nice and easy.
I mean, cold 62 2 and hot's 84. A little more in Escondido. But I guess my question for you is, how was that transition going from one of the best climates in the world to Saskatoon and leaving your family and leaving everything behind? I mean, that had to be, I'm sure you knew it was going to be tough, but was that tougher than you thought, or pretty standard?
Well, I think anywhere you go to a different country, it's going to be a little bit of a shock. And I think weather was a big culture shock for me. I remember I left, it might have been February at that time, so it was still pretty cold, maybe January even, and it was 80 degrees at my house. And then I got off a flight and it was probably negative 40 degrees. And that was something crazy for me, but I didn't really feel it till I got a car. And then once my car froze over and I couldn't go anywhere, and I realized I needed to do something with some heater that I didn't know about and get the engine block dialed in that way, that's something that really was, this is some serious stuff. You have cars freezing over and you can't use them for weeks, and you get frostbite as soon as you grab the door handle. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience, but I'd like to say I'm used to it now. Maybe it took 4 years though.
You know, it's funny because I can picture your dad like, Pasha, you need to toughen up, Pasha. It's
right.
going through my head. But anyway, well, I am so excited to see you here. I know you love roller hockey. I wish you the best. And you're playing for the same team. You're playing for the Hitmen next year too, or you?
We'll see. It's
you've got 1 year left.
I have 1 year left in junior hockey, so it's always a toss-up when you go in as a 20-year-old. So we'll see, and it's with guys playing in the AHL this past year, or maybe coming up and down. Like they still have a spot in junior, so you never know. That's kind of what happened to me at the start of the year. Or at the team that I was at the start of the year, they had 4 20-year-olds, and then a 5th guy came back from the AHL, and now all of a sudden it's 3 guys fighting for 5 spots. So,
how many steps? I know you had a better year last year than you did the year prior, which is obviously what you want to do, is keep progressing. How many steps away are you from getting, getting a call from an AHL team? Are you somewhat close, or is it like? And excuse me if I'm ignorant on it a little bit, because you're obviously not going to college. You're playing juniors, right?
Right.
So, I mean, is that kind of your stepping stone that you're hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, it takes 1 really solid year. It doesn't matter what year it is. It takes 1 solid year, and always, no matter what, development camp is the first step. Just going to an NHL development camp, there's quite a few in the last few weeks. Getting an invite out to there, then from there you maybe that team likes you, maybe they don't, but the other teams know you're at their camp, and that's how you get your looks. From there, you do well, then you can definitely earn a contract, go to the AHL. If not, there's U Sports, and there's leagues in Europe that you could go to too, but a lot of guys will have, I'm sure East Coast Hockey League opportunity is always there to grind it out and
that's
go through there.
That's the backup plan.
That's right.
Well, hey, again, you're a hell of a hockey player. You were our captain when you were a kid. You're a team leader on every team you play on. You've got a team first mentality, and I expect to see you in the AHL sometime sooner than later.
Yeah, hope so too. I'm a defenseman, so the prime is 25, right? So
prime is 25.
I'll say I got some time, but it's always the goal. And I love playing, and I love coming out to these tournaments, playing roller hockey every single year. Yeah. And I definitely owe that a lot to my ice game as well. So I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
Well, and out here you're an offensive defenseman.
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Okay, next up we've got still a little bit sweaty, Frankie Jirak. Frankie just played in the championship game for D1. That's 24U. Plays for the Roadrunners, and they defeated Black Ice. What was it, 5-2, something like that?
Yeah, 5-2, 6-2. There was an empty netter somewhere in there.
Yeah, for sure. I thought yours was kind of an empty netter too after you made your move.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about taking it all the way too, which is funny.
Yeah. Well, I know we mic'd you up last year. I know you like to talk. You do a good job. You're a quick kid. You're a good kid. And one of the things I like to do on the pod is just bring up some old moments and stuff like that. And I got to be honest, I remember you playing for the Roadrunners when you were 10, you were 12. You were, how can I say? Well, I'm just going to say it. Like you were good, but you weren't great. You're like your typical goal player.
Yeah, it was a progression. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then I would say about 5-6 years ago, it's like, oh, Frankie's really improved. He is definitely, one of the better players in the division. And now, you are you're there, man. You're you not only fit in pro. You're you're I wouldn't say you're one of the very, very best players, but you are on your way and definitely make an impact in every game you play in, like you just did right there.
Yeah, I think it's even better coming from being with the Roadrunners as well. I grew up playing with that team. I know everybody on the team, so I think it makes it that much better with me coming up through the stages, playing with them, knowing everybody, and having that chemistry just makes it 10 times easier for me and them. So I feel comfortable, they feel comfortable.
Well, I know you've been going to Europe, 2 or 3 years now?
It was one. I was going to do one a year prior. It just didn't work out.
So this year was really your first full year?
Yeah, France.
How much would you say, I see, I don't know, Lionel was just over here a minute ago.
He has camera somewhere.
Right? Yeah, for sure. I know he loves following you guys around with all the tournaments over there. And you live with Joey too, right?
Oh, yeah.
So going over there with him, 2 guys that grew up together, it had to make that experience a little bit easier for both of you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, me and him are very close, and it made it even better. Me and him are 10 times closer. There's the boys with the trophy there now. You can't see it.
Yeah, boys. Congrats.
Bring it over here. But yeah, being with Joey, it made it easier for me, especially he played in Europe before once. So here we are.
Good to see you again, too.
Here we are. I'll put this down real quick.
You can put it in the middle if you want.
Yeah, we'll do that.
There you go.
I don't want to block anything. But, growing up with him, it made it easier for him and me. He knew everything about Europe, so way easier.
Now, lifestyle, way different there. I know the hockey's a bit different, too. Was it an easy adjustment for you? Do you like that style better than this style, or you,
I wouldn't say
make a difference?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I liked it more. I'd say it was a little bit of both. I think it wouldn't make really much of a difference. It was just so different. You're just in a different country. It's a whole different world. So, but I think the adjustment period was perfect for me because I had Joey, like we said. It just made it easier. And the teammates we had, they all spoke English. They all knew that we were imports and we don't know our way around. We don't speak French. So they made it 10 times easier for us. But I loved it. I wouldn't say I loved it more, but it was pretty dang fun. So.
It's so cool that you guys have the opportunity. And I know it's been going on for quite some time. I was talking to Dave Hammond about all the guys that have gone through, even the club that you just played for. What's the name of that club again?
Vierzon.
Okay. And, and there's a couple guys that are just lifers over there. I mean, Nathan Sigmund.
Exactly.
He grew up in San Diego. I've known him forever. But I haven't seen him forever because he doesn't come home that much. I will see Charles Baldwin. He's going to be playing here this weekend in the Pro Division for PGKA. And I know, dude lives on an island, literally just, throwing out CDs.
Just having fun,
Just living island life and playing some hockey. And I guess they won those three or four cups this year.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the life. I mean, if you're winning and you're doing stuff like that, especially releasing CDs, he's got to be having fun,
man,
right?
He's living the dream. No
Him
pun
and his hair.
intended
Yeah,
there.
no pun. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, man, well, I wish you the best of luck in pro. How's your team look? How do you think you're going to stack up?
To be honest, the rosters changed a little bit before we came here. We didn't know who was coming, who was not. So it was a little bit of confusion, so I don't know the whole roster. Okay. But, I mean, I'm sure we're going to be pretty good. I'm hoping that we're going to fit in very well because I think we have 2 add-ons, so I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah, too bad Pat doesn't make it out here. I mean, I know he lives in Tampa, and I mean, I'm sure if you talk to him, he'd want to, but he's probably got other stuff going on.
Yeah,
and training hard.
Shout out Pat. He's not here because he's going to be at McDavid's wedding. So, I mean, he's having a fun time. So.
Yeah, so he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Yeah, should have invited me, Pat. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, anyway, best of luck in pro. Good. Congrats on the D1 win, and may have to mic you up again. You're a lot of fun.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, happy to grab another guy who's not hard to find here at the rink because he's here all the time. Dan Maxwell, how the hell are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. This is fun stuff.
Yeah, it really is. I think you've seen me with a smile on my face more than I usually have at these events. And same with you. It seems like you're enjoying yourself. You just had a big win in D1, Gold D1. Your son Hayden had a good tournament, huh?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, the young kids look up to him. I mean, they're all pumped up. I mean, got some new kids. Got actually some good kids that are like committed and stuff, like that Hershik guy, and then Goody plays D1, and so those guys coming in the tournament, they're all excited and having fun. We have the young kids looking up to them. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
Well, Dan, I know you run the shop here, Hockey Wheel Hut.
Yeah, Wheel Hut. Yeah,
Wheel Hut. I was going to call it Hockey Hut. A lot of energy here, a lot of people, more teams. Obviously, that's going to happen, but it's got to be pretty good for you this time compared to past events, huh?
Well, last year was huge. I mean, we were like hit 300. We're like, holy smoke! And then we had 350 something, 8 or whatever. I mean, and of course we do. I'm RHA guy, so I see all the things, and then all the foreign teams. So they come in here, and that's the biggest thing is all the foreign teams coming here from out of state, the New Zealand, the Colombia, and all. So they're coming through, seeing. And what's funny thing, the pro shop is just a side gig. I mean, it's just a fun little thing that I do because I kind of use it as an office because I have the draft league here. With RHA, I have the high school leagues, and so trying to grow the sport. And I coach the OC Blades, which are guys came from militia from HB when HB closed down. So me and Skylar got together and did this, and so I mean, it all comes together with small networking, but. This is an iconic rink. It's all year round, 140 adult teams. Ron does a great job, and the Ducks support this rink, and then all the club teams. And then you're out here a lot, and they're always big tournaments, always fun stuff. And people like to come out here. I mean, it's like you said, it's one of the iconic rinks in the country.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it is. And then we play today. Your arm's all screwed up, I know.
Yeah, it's still jacked up.
But I mean. Thankfully, they made it over 50 league because it's the only way I'm going to compete. We need to do over 55.
No, we had fun. Like I told you, you look good. No, everybody else got worse. You stayed the same.
I didn't change. I was always horrible. They just got worse. That's how it worked out.
Well, when the Levadas are dominating now. No, just kidding, Scott and Kevin, sort of. But
I was probably close to that though. 5 goals, 5 assists. I think I was close to that for the tournament.
Scott got high score. Shout out Scott Levada.
Good job, Scotty.
Must be the whips. No, he's him and Kev both. They love to play. Their kids are very heavily involved. I mean, they're a big part of this sport. But let's talk about you and the Blades just a little bit. So it's kind of Skylar, you and Skylar and Tanner Privia, and like you guys seem to have a lot like the Bulldogs. You guys have a big program and quality coaches, and it's like a lot of these teams here. They're ice kids that just throw it together for a regional and come to the finals and enjoy playing roller, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you guys seem to have more of a structured program that starts early in the season, plays in all the events. Tell me about that process just a little bit.
There was more of that back in the day, as you know, all these different programs, and it's tough because all the ice hockey, and we're always fighting that battle. But the Bulldogs, great. We support Benny as much as possible because he has that program and he runs that rink. So the rinks are huge. Without the rinks, tournaments like yourself, events, they can't do stuff. I mean, all these kids play, so we have to have those venues where they're, so we support them. So to this rink, we support. We practice twice a week. We pay a lot of money to the rink for the rink rental. So that's that partnership that you have. We start early in October. We kick off with a blood tournament, and then we do all your events. We do Benny's events. So we try to keep it going. We have a lot of teams that way. But we start all with HB, with the militia, so where we go. So Skylar got together with Gibo back in the day and said, hey, can we use your name? Kind of bring it back, kind of old school vibe, which we did. And got all those guys together. And it's working out good. There is some ice kids that come in, but the group, we have Stacy Waddington and Bob Waddington do a great job on helping us out. Tanner stepped up huge this year. So, Skylar had a baby. Congratulations, Skylar. So Tanner stepped in, did a lot. I'm here anyway, so I'm always helping out. But just all of us coming together to make that program go. And from six, we want to get to 600s, but all the way from younger guys to D1. We have a pro team.
Yeah, now you got a pro team, and they're legit. You guys should be. I mean, I have you go in playoffs for sure. Yeah. And then who knows? We'll see how deep you go. But,
You have your top 4 that I think are like elite, and then you have the mid-range. Like we're probably right there, tier 2 pro team.
I would agree.
So, but you never know. We're good defensively. We'll see what happens. We have some new guys. It's just fun. I mean, like I said, this event, the vibe it has, all the foreign teams, you can see the energy in the building. Like I said, it's great for me because, you have these 10 days where the shop where it's busy. I go away, I go see my family, and it kind of sets up for the summer. But it's funny how the whole community comes together like with the Rinks, with yourself, with other events, with this, so I know Steve's helping us out with this interview with the draft league I have. It's under Roller Hockey Alliance. It's just the networking of everybody. It's starting to come around. I think the ice hockey people are starting to see it. Because it's funny how many ice hockey people you see. Like, I don't know if they're sneaking out. I don't know if they're just going.
It's common knowledge.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look around and, back in the day, you still had a lot of kids that played both. But now it's like everybody just loves to play roller because it's a more, you hit the nail on the head. It's a more relaxed environment. People have fun. It's loose. You can dangle. You can wheel. And, you're not going to get benched if you're dash 3. You're going to go out and try to score your 4.
What's funny is like I said, I see a lot when walking around, and I even walk into the ice rink because I coach ice hockey too for the Ducks Ice Hockey League. And my son actually works over. Hayden's working at the rinks, and he brings teams over. And he helps out. Luke's helping out. Jimmy's helping out. Hayden's helping out with teams. So you go over to the ice rinks.
These are all kids that grew up playing.
Yeah.
Age.
We started in Arizona playing for you. So we're doing all this stuff. So we're playing, and now they're coaching. They're playing, and you go over to the ice rinks, and you're walking through the ice rinks. Hey, coach. Hey, so everybody knows each other. So that influence is there. I'm hoping that, like I said, that people are seeing the value of roller hockey, and I think it's there. I think people know about it. I'm glad we're able to do this, and Steve helped us out to get the word out. Because what's funny is even in my high school leagues, like, all these guys play NARCh, these guys play roller hockey. I mean, they're the best players on my team. I mean, it's always there, and we actually want to do a thing with maybe Roller Dad or yourself or whatever about roller ice. I don't, we've always, me and you, and always talk about it.
Yeah, I've worn it out. You can do that with Roller Dad.
I'll do that with Roller Dad. But I think it's a cool thing that see all these people out here, and I mean, next week we're going to have some. When Pro comes, look at all those big guys coming.
That's 2 days.
It's 2 days. Yeah, 2 days.
Here we go, 2 days. All right, well, just a couple things, and we'll leave. We'll let you get back to the beer garden. It looks like fun over there. Hopefully I'll join you in a little bit. So OC Blades, success so far this tournament. I think you guys already have 4 gold medals, which I think matches what you had last year in total. So you're playing with the house's money right now. The rest of the tournament.
All right, there we go.
Well, I ran into Skylar, and we always kind of have a great relationship with Skylar, and it's kind of an on-running joke. Like whenever you're the same way. You win silver, you're like, and it doesn't. Like, you guys aren't into collecting silver medals, even though it's cool for the kids.
Like, and I'm king of silver, by the way.
Yeah, you are. Hey,
a lot of
yes,
silver.
you are. I should have thought about that when I was picking that
My
team.
money jinxed you on the 50 by putting me on. That put us in silver right away.
Yeah, no, but you guys seem to be having a lot of luck. All the hard work's paying off. That 10U Plat team, that division was a great division. I thought Zulu beat your 10U Plat team, I think 3-2 in the last round-robin game. And then came time for the semis, and they actually lost to the Bulldogs, which you guys battle Bulldogs all the time. Bulldogs, what's that kid's name? Oh, he scored an unreal goal. We had a highlight of it up. Shout out to Rain for capturing that. But that was in overtime.
Yeah.
So Zulu lost in overtime. You guys won your semi. You faced them, and I was talking a bit about it too. Like they kind of dominated early in the season, and then you guys have had the number of late. So I think it's awesome to have 2 really premier programs, and you guys,
that happened in 14 gold too.
Yeah.
14 gold team smoked us. They get beat by another team, opens the thing, and then we end up winning gold. Because the team I thought we were going to go against the Outcast team, which we got beat by, but then the Black Aces opened up 14 gold, and then we ended up winning 14 gold. So it's kind of funny. You never know. That's why you got to play them.
That's what's great about these tournaments that are competitive.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to show up every game. Yep. Your goalie's got to play well. You got to stay out of the box, and those little things, and and a couple other things. There's no one that's a shoo-in in any of these divisions.
No.
So anyway, I appreciate the time you spent. You're a good friend.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, a lot. We've known each other
we got a platinum game coming up too, don't we? We got platinum coming up. Men's platinum.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're still coaching that? We're still doing that?
I thought it was done.
We're coaching Team USA together. I guess technically I'm the head coach of the assistant.
I'm the assistant. I'm the peon.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure.
And Vio's here too. Vio's going to be here. So we'll have to, 3 of us will have to get together and come up with at least some line balance, see what we're going to do, and kind of, I'm sure we'll shuffle guys around, see who plays well together. I mean, we didn't put this team in this tournament to win the tournament. We put them, otherwise we'd probably have played silver or gold, but Men's Platinum is going to be.
Oh, no, that's a good division.
It's going to be a very, very good test for these young men that we selected for our Team USA. And it's all about trying to get ready for Italy and really be prepared as a team, get to know each other, and go into that and bring a gold medal back.
Yeah, well, you always like to see how they do when they struggle. Anybody can be great when you're winning, but see how you do when you struggle. You know what I mean?
Adversity.
Yeah.
You know, is. Yeah. I mean, like, you weren't the best teammate on the bench when we were not playing very well.
No.
I'm just kidding. You weren't, you weren't bad. No, it's going to be awesome. The kids are going to have fun. They're going to get to know each other better. And, win or lose, even if we get beat up a couple games, that's going to make us stronger.
Way ahead of the game, though, with compared to the years in the past by just, getting the kids together. So great. I
like who we picked, though. I'm excited about the team. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
So, anyway, all right, we'll wrap things up. Thanks for being part of this, and
thanks, Steve.
Good luck the rest of the time.
You bet. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it. Okay, that's going to be a wrap for us here from the NARCh Finals. We at least want to show you a little bit about what's going on. It's been an amazing event. Everything is bigger and better. More vendors, more teams. Everyone is happy. Even the teams that lost, I've gotten a lot of compliments. Referees have been solid. So I couldn't be happier as the owner of NARCh with how it's gone so far. But knock on wood, we've got about 5 days left and a lot of big hockey to come. Pro Division, giving away a lot of money. We've got 14 men's teams. We got 7 women's teams. Those games will be live streamed. We will come out with a schedule tomorrow, which is probably when this podcast will come out. Shout out to Steve. He'll be doing the live stream as well. So if you got any complaints, you can send them directly to him and not at Daryn@narch.com. You cool with that, Steve? Steve's cool with that. All right. And we got Jeremy Ellis coming in to do the play-by-play. Hopefully, if you're watching from afar and you're really into the sport, you appreciate everything that my staff has been doing. I mean, Rain and Lionel with all the videos and action shots with Rob is crushing it with the photos. All the vendors for staying here late hours. Even the guys with the beer garden truck, they're crushing it, having a blast. It's a really, really good vibe here in Irvine. And a lot of it starts with Ron, who runs the rink. All his employees are cool. They want to be here. They're part of the sport. They're not just doing it for a measly paycheck. So the roller hockey family is super strong at NARCh with this event, and we appreciate everybody coming. So enjoy the rest of the time here if you are here, and if you're not, you need to get here next year. Signing off, Daryn Goodwin.